We always say ES, W, J, V, V. Everything starts with Jamian Juliano-Villani. So, Jamian, maybe we can start with your slides, right?
Sure. Do I just click next? That's it? Is this too close? Yes. Okay. So, we're all friends, we're all artists, and I make paintings. These are them. Basically, these come from everywhere, every kind of, what, dipping?
You can look at the image here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot. So my paintings come from an amalgamation of references of all different kinds of stuff. So we're all kind of like collectors of junk or things or ephemera. And I basically just kind of layer them together. And to me, it doesn't really matter what comes from where. I don't really even care how they look in the end. It's kind of just...
Is that a portrait of you?
That is a self-portrait, yes. I look just like that. Let's see. Let's keep going. It's like TV. So, you know, this one, two prostitutes. They're in a building, and they're not having a conversation. It's quiet. So if you look in, there's like a little bag of Lay's chips on the floor or on the table. There's a hermit crab inside of them. Has anyone ever had a hermit crab? Ever? Probably not. Not in Munich, I guess. But they're incredibly loud. So if you're in a lecture, if someone was eating chips right now, that shit is also incredibly loud. So to me, it's the loudest thing in the room. You gotta help me out here, Brian. All right, that's my sister. She's melting on the floor.
So these are collages, right?
Yes,
you're
they're
pulling
collages.
from multiple different previous sources.
Yeah, so they could come from anything. It could be like, you know, maybe I'll take a photo of this and I'll email it to myself and then I'll put that in a painting. Or it could be from, you know, a newspaper or the internet or a book or, you know, anything. So I kind of hoard them.
And can you tell us how you make these paintings? It's very fascinating when one visits the studio because there are 3 projectors on wheels and they're kind of moving around in a very mobile situation.
Yeah, my studio, it looks like Best Buy. There's like computers and wires everywhere. And then also, I paint in the dark, so all the lights are off, and I have like whatever image is on, and then I just layer it. So it's kind of stupid. I can't really see what I'm doing, but it's very fast. And I use the fastest paint possible, which is acrylic, and I'm really impatient, so I just blow dry it. So it takes 3 seconds, you know, it's pretty good. But, you know, so this is kind of like another kind of collage. I'll make a collage on paper, and then, you know, I'll cut it up, move it around as I paint it, rotate it, and like, you know, this becomes strange. This one is called The Right Time, 2 aliens making love on the floor. And for me, you know, there's golf balls coming out of that lamp. And, you know, if you see a golf ball in the woods, you're like, oh shit, like a person was here. So instead of doing something so easy or suggestive as like a hand or whatever, I thought the golf balls were pretty, kind of got the point across. There we go. Spark notes in the corner.
Wait, can you bring that back?
Oh, but how'd that...
Can you bring that back?
That,
what is that?
so basically there was the first original hoax was, it's like a skate, it's a stingray.
But was that a Barnum and Bailey?
It was from Barnum and Bailey. It was like
Yeah.
the first hoax, like the Fiji mermaid or something.
And so it's made of several different fishes that were cut together.
And dried. And then they glued together and...
it was like a circus tent
Pretty mu-
oddity.
yeah, I mean, it's like, 1920s stuff, so it kind of becomes like this aging spinster. That, I don't know how that got there.
Hey now.
Yeah. The first robot on the moon, Odex, it's the female version.
Wait, go back there. Is that a Morandi in the background?
It's a Morandi painting.
Giorgio Morandi.
Self-explanatory, totally. My hard drive being thrown through the Titanic hallway with my other paintings inside of it, my grandma's charm climbing down the stairs. Swimmer, playing the recorder. It's my favorite instrument. It costs $2 and every parent hates it. Surrealism. That's surrealism. It's actually based off of an Edward Keenholt's installation called Roxy's. But, you know, you want surrealism, I'll give it to you. Put everything on a shish kebab. There's a version of Jesus as an orange peel walking above water. And that is a drone throwing its college ID at its mom in the car. Okay, so how do we play these ones?
I think you hit the button.
Okay, so, you know, like I said, our stuff comes from everywhere. Or mine does, all of us, really. But we'll look at something and we'll get into it. And we saw this. How do we do it? You guys know how to play the video? Yeah, play. No?
A picture.
Oh, shit. Someone better go and figure that out. So basically, this is like a,
Maybe we.
yeah, go and do it while I explain. Maybe we should go to your slides and we go back to the videos. What do you think? Huh? Is that your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, sounds good. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Billy,
That's unfortunate, but I guess we're moving on. So I brought a bunch of slides of, just my past. I've been around for a long time, and I started doing art shows when I was a teenager with my sister and my friend. And my first art show that I did in New York was when I graduated from high school, but I didn't go. And so we had a group called Dear Raindrop, my sister Laura Grant and my friend Joe Grillo, and we used to do, we would all collectors and kind of competitive garage sailors that had a library of, ephemera and paper stuff that we cut up in little boxes, and we would just hang out in the garage and, glue it in, we would take the books, cut the pictures out. And
it was called the Collage Garage, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you do glue it on the book covers because the books are all cut up. And so I think the best part about it in the long run was that it was confusing, that it was it was an installation, and the whole idea was to maximize the idea and not focus on one thing and make it not, commercial.
About one ego.
Yeah. And so this was a show that we did, and you can see that you really can't tell where the boundary from one thing that one of us made and the other started, and that made it more confusing. We would paint together on these big paintings. They're like murals, kind of, and we would just do whatever we want, and we kind of trust each other to do what we ever wanted to do. This one, this one's from the garage. Yeah. These are just little paintings that I made in the garage. Sometimes I just have a little whimsy and I do whatever I want to do. So I don't know what that is, but what are you just gonna say? There's cartoon characters, there's colors, there's everything that you could want. I don't know what to say, but we gotta keep moving.
Oh, this is a great one. I love that one.
That's a good one, Billy.
Yeah. So we got those.
That's a good one.
That's a real big one I did in a caviar factory in Norway, Lofoten, in this town Henningsvær. And I didn't start that one there. That was a different time. But it was for the same show that stuff came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a big painting. I usually don't stretch them first because I like to roll them up. So you get them on the plane, unroll them, and stretch them at the show. It's kind of like a circus painting, So you do that, and you get the painting there, you get it rolled up, and we always get in fights because we were we exploded. We're really,
Very volatile.
I get attracted to very, fiery people. And so, there's fighting, all types of stuff.
Yeah.
This is just more colory stuff and doodads. Is this video gonna work?
Yeah,
oh, that's what?
That sucks. The video doesn't work.
Wait,
there we
I
go.
wanted to say one thing. Can I go back?
Yes.
So if you chew up Triscuits, there's so much oil in them, they roll up into a meatball, and it's all right, we'll play the videos. So I've been an animator since I was a kid, and these are I'll slow down. It's kind of hard. This is the video I made in high school when I was 16 or 15, and it was a music video, and I did a bunch of those.
And you took the music out.
Well, so I could talk over it for this. And it's all kind of cut up. I mean, this is from the year 2001 or 2000, and so that's a long time ago now. But at the time, I was really into overstimulating things, and I liked collage, and the kind of digital collage is compositing and figuring out ways to, say as much as possible you know, and I just really like the kind of numbing effect of video. When you video edit, you just start getting dizzy for watching something over and over again. Is kind of the
I think that's one thing we all have in common is that we're not minimalists, we're maximalists.
Totally.
And so we really love to stuff every corner with something to look at, that you would have to watch it multiple times to really see the entire picture.
Yeah. And, oh man, this one's a good one too, Billy.
Yeah, this is awesome.
These were all, I got this colorizer. Somebody was throwing it away at NYU. And I would just like tape TV and like turn the color all day. I was like, whoa. So this is a book that before me and my sister and my friend broke up, we tried to make this animated book that is like a flip book, but it kind of like, you know, it's like the composition of the book is like filling in animated. So when you flip it, I mean, it's just a flip book. But anyways, there's this book. And, oh, thank you. Thanks.
Go, Billy! So you control it, it's your stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is, okay, this is, I just made a little excerpt of an animation I made with my friend Takashi Murata, and this is kind of more 3D stuff now, and this is kind of where it's kind of like photo modeling, where we made real sculptures in his garage. I was like sleeping in his garage and like it was his junk, and I would make statues, and he did a lot of the animation part, but we made this idea of this video balls that let light in, but they, no, you can see into the crystal and it can reflect stuff, but the light can't escape and it keeps bouncing off and has this effect to show a lot of angles at once. So, yeah, these are just like junk in his garage, and it's a fun way to. I like it for Whoa, this is the really old. I was playing around an iMovie today. I don't know. I was like, get this done. So I mean, there's like all his stuff in his garage dancing around, and whoa, maybe it's over.
What the hell?
Oh, it keeps going. Shit. Yeah. I mean, so it's like, it has sound and stuff, but I kind of put everything quiet so I could talk over it and I didn't have to stop talking. I don't know. Yeah, well, it's going to end soon, but yeah, it's just like, it's like, you know, I really like this photo modeling way of getting into 3D, because it's so much. I like collage, and I like bringing real-world things into video graphics, and I guess that this was one thing I was excited about, because we got to make all the stuff and have fun in the garage before we did it.
It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wait. Thank you, Takashi. It was fun. Okay, wait, do I have another slide?
Do you?
Okay, we'll go.
Okay. You should show the, when you're done, you should show the.
Okay, I'm not sure what that was, but we will
keep
show
going,
it.
keep going.
Oh yeah, so here it is. We gotta go crazy, not lazy. So what we're seeing here is a drawing I did about 1995, and all of us artists, what we want to do is pop eyes. That's what we want. We want to see, you know, people's eyes explode with visions. So what you see here is a kind of surrealistic, cartoony drawing I did. There's literally Popeye on the TV set. You have a parrot with its eye popped. And you also have a cat whose eyes are popped. And you have Kitty Poopy. And so, you know, that's all of us are just like a jamboree of visions and fun and density. So
And argument. Yeah.
And argument.
Yeah.
We don't always get along, but we're going to make it work.
Shut up.
Anyhow, so when I went to school for painting wasn't so popular, and I wanted to stick with it. I love painting, but I wanted to pop by. So how did I do this? But just grab normal food and jam it on a canvas. So what you're seeing here is Fruit Loops and nails poured over glued with a glue gun on a very small canvas. So it's, and now this next series is still the food series. We have marshmallows. So this is a grid of marshmallows. The marshmallows were taken and dipped in paint and put on canvases.
And then mice eat them eventually.
Yeah,
And then they're empty, totally empty.
Yeah, there were many times where I would put them in my house and I would return to the house and the painting wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And right below the painting would be a whole fleet of little mouse poopy. And I don't know how they did it, but they ate they loved the paintings.
Yeah.
So this is another one made of marshmallows. This one, if anyone could recognize it, is Lucky Charms. So we have a cauldron of coins. We've got erasers, we've got jelly beans, a lot of food. So this next one is packing material dipped in paint, put on the canvas. Okay, this next thing, and I think this is something that bonds all of the stuff we do. This was a gift to my parents during Christmas. It was a joke. So it wasn't considered as something serious or real.
Yeah.
It was a joke gift. And so
Parents
I gave it to
love
my
jokes.
parents, and I called it the prototype for Michael Jackson's, the rejected prototype for Michael Jackson's glitter glove. So these are rocks. And here's some more rocks on gloves. Okay, so now this is another series that I did where I take pre-existing calculators, and this one is covered with Doritos. So I got extra hot Doritos, crunched it up, and covered a calculator with it. Why?
Yeah.
People, we gotta go crazy, not lazy. Okay, so here's another image of another calculator covered with rocks and sand. And here's one with bird food.
Yep.
Here's another one that actually isn't a real calculator. There's another calculator. Okay, so from the calculators, I went on to remotes. And I thought remotes are pretty funny because they're kind of like our magic wand. Do this immediately. Turn off the news, turn on the news, this, that,
It's all
whatever.
trust too. Like, say someone sits on the remote, you're like, get up, I don't believe you. You know what I mean?
Where is it?
Yeah,
What?
so get the hell up. Yeah.
So, you know, what I found out is when I covered these things with rock and sand, they wind up kind of looking like archaeological object. And I started to think about, not too far in the future, we will be in a buttonless environment. Like, and maybe our age will be the push button age, because we'll have technology integrated. Our mouse will be the, iris moving around. So here are more of these things. That's Reese's Pieces, I think. Okay. Now, what the hell is that? I don't know, but please tell me after. Okay. All right. So this is a lot of strange stuff going on here. Okay. Yep. All right. I used to vacuum a floor.
Yeah.
I think it's covered with Doritos too. Okay, here's another kind of calculator, and these things wound up just turning into weird, whimsical devices. Yeah. All right, so this next thing, to pop eyes. So I was thinking about different ways to glue stuff together, and one day I thought, like, instead of gluing two pieces of paper together, I could put them in a pan, put water in it, and freeze them. So what you're looking at is actually frozen. What this piece is made of is ketchup, mustard, 3 types of hair gel, Play-Doh, chia seeds.
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that? Those are actually toilet paper rolls. I did not make these.
Billy did.
Yes, Billy, that is amazing. Not lazy. All right, so this piece is made of Aquafresh and 4 types of hair gel. This is made of cat food and 3 types of hair gel. What I really liked is, I had to keep these in the freezer, and so when I would have studio visits, at the very end, I'd put on rubber gloves.
And everyone's like, what is he
and they're
gonna
like,
do?
okay, what's going on
Yeah.
here? I'd leave the room, and I'd come back in with one of these steaming things, and cat food smells. So as I would come into the room, the steaming cat food, and I'd put it up to the light, and that's when you would get this kind of stained glass vision. So I liked that idea. Something could be stinky and beautiful at the same time.
Stinky.
And that's another piece made of cat food and 4 types of hair gel. Another thing is that a lot of people would say to me, hey, you can make this in resin. Why don't you make them more practical? They could live forever. But, that isn't the point. For me, it was very important. I'm very interested in Dadaism and absurdity. And I like the idea that whoever got this object would have to take care of it, and that it was fragile. DLD Dada.
Yes, DLD Dada, yeah.
What I didn't know when I was storing these in my freezer was every time you open the freezer, actually things evaporate. So this is just looking at that same one, what happened over a year's time in the freezer. So for these things to really exist, they'd have to be in an airtight case. Okay, this is another one made of mustard and 2 types of hair gel. All right, so now what I started, this is a series I call Puffs. Years back I was making things with cotton balls, and I started ripping up pillows and putting them in vats of paint. Why? I do not know. But we'll find out in the next episode. Yeah. So I started putting the channel changers in these puff pieces. So that's what you're going to see here. These are some larger puff pieces, right? And so this is all cotton or some type of nylon cotton dipped in paint. I'm a very sweaty artist.
Yes.
So I decided to add fans into the work so that I could, as I'm working on, I would cool down. So that's these are my most recent works of the Puffs variety, and the fans do work.
Yep.
There's also some calculators. What is this doing here? This was a mistake, but
Next.
Mozart.
Go.
In the jungle. Okay, so here's another fan piece. A fan. There's more fans.
Can we get some more
photograph.
Can I get a drink?
Whoa. Paul. Did the real Paul McCartney die that fateful night, 1962? We will never know. But I think he was. Why was he knighted? Okay.
Okay. A deer just got into our house. This window. I'm going to attempt to get the deer out of our house. That's the window. Easy girl. Easy girl. Easy girl. Easy girl. Easy girl. I'm gonna open the door. Easy girl. I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna open the door. Poor thing. Oh, this is crazy. You've ever seen him? She just laid down over there. She's basically destroying our house. Okay. And there she goes. Good luck, dear. Well, that's an interesting alarm clock right there. Interesting alarm clock, don't you think? Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. Yeah, our Christmas tree's down.
Hello? You guys better pick up. Because if you don't, you'll never hear from me again. And I mean it, Ma! God damn it, I've been there for all of you. You better pick up. This is too serious. I care about all of you.
Raise your hand. Sam, I'll be over there in 5 minutes. I'm tired of talking on the phone. Give me 5 minutes. I'm going to be there.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Robert, please call Sears at 1-800-733-1116. Thank you very much.
just going to jump in the shower and watch The Sopranos at 9. So if you get here in time, everything is just as much as a mess as it was before. And if you don't, just call me and let me know if you're coming over. Talk to you later. Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.
So, I'll talk to you guys later. I will talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye. Talk to you later. Talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, Dave.
Dave. Dave. Dave. Dave. Dave. Dickhead. Dave. Are you there? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Thanks. Bye. Please. Thanks. Thanks. Bye.
And the lights go off.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
And the lights are turned off.
Das ist der Collage. Der ist schön. Nee, schau mal, der. Wow. Und das DLD. Schau mal da. Und der auch, gell? Ja, der ist schön. Der auch? Steffi, berühre meine Festplatte nicht. Ich hasse es, aber dies ist meine Festplatte. Ich arbeite dafür. Ich habe dafür bezahlt. Ich weiß, dass du es gut meinst, aber ich will dafür verantwortlich sein. Ich will, dass es ganz meins ist. Kannst du das verstehen? Nun, ich schätze die Anstrengung und den Rat und alles, aber, wie kann ich dir das nur sagen? Du bist kein Tech-Typ, Steffi. Du bist ein Mädchen. Mach dich nicht verrückt. Ich meine es nicht so. Es kam nicht richtig rüber. Ich meine nur, dass du nicht die beste Person bei DLD bist. Okay? Das klang auch nicht richtig. Ich weiß, dass ich kein Experte bin. Ich habe nicht gesagt, dass ich's bin. Alles, was ich weiß, ist jedes Mal, wenn du meinen Computer verwendest, vergisst du, ihn herunterzufahren. Es ist wahr. Es tut mir leid, dir die Wahrheit sagen zu müssen. Vielleicht bin ich undankbar. Aber der Punkt ist, das ist meine Festplatte. Und wenn ich Fehler mache und es in den Boden fallen lassen will, möchte ich, dass es mein Fehler ist. Berühre nicht meinen Computer, okay? Ich berühre dich auch nicht. Es tut mir leid, es so zu sagen, Hans und Steffi, aber ihr hört mir einfach nicht zu. Ich scherze nicht. Setz den WGA-Adapter nach unten, Hans.
Oh mein Gott, ich bin so heiß, aber nicht auf eine gute Weise. Weißt du, was ich meine? Was ist damit? Ist das wie die globale Erwärmung? Glaubst du, dass das echt ist? Und wenn es real ist, wie kann dann die Erwärmung der Welt eine weitere Eiszeit dabei führen? Ich verstehe es nicht. Kannst du dir nicht vorstellen, ein Dinosaurier während einer Eiszeit zu sein? Und du stehst einfach nur da und es ist wie, oh mein Gott, da kommt das Eis. Wo gehe ich hin? Was mache ich? Glaubst du, es war so schnell? Weißt du, all dieses Gerede über Eis kühlt mich ab. Ist das nicht genial? Ich bin wie ein Genie. Willenssache. Die Kraft meines Geistes ist genial. Ich schwöre.
Lily, can you tell us about your unrealized projects?
Ich möchte ein Tech-Start-up gründen, um Drohnen mit Vogelbeinen zu machen, die auf Dächern sitzen können.
And David, yours?
Not my God!
Jamian, Brian, Billy, David, Lily, thank you so much.